Hey, my listeners and viewers. Today, I want us to start talking about how to deal with breakups, how to respond to breakups, how to manage breakups. But before we do that, it's important for us to answer a very important question. And that is, why does breakups happen? Because if you don't know the reason why, then going straight to just discussing how to handle breakups or respond breakups will not be that useful. Of course, if you have not watched the common mistakes, I will actually encourage you to go back to look at the common mistakes, because in the common mistakes we're able to highlight key relationship mistakes. And if you know the relationship mistakes, then definitely you know why do breakups happen. It's not about cheating. It's not about, these are all just part of some of the reasons, but the 4 key reasons, there are really 4 key reasons. One is, I always want to start by calling your attention to Amos 3:3. Can 2 work together except they agree? Meaning, relationships, no matter what the nature is, whether in business, friendship, intimacy, casual, it's a journey. It's a journey of many years. Some people will tell you, oh, I have known this guy for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 53 years. Some people have been married for over 60 years. What kept them together so long? Can 2 people really work together except they agree? So the first question is, I want to ask you listening to me today, is your relationship based on a common agreement? Or is it based on a common pain? Or is it based on, a common comfort? Good relationships must be based on a common agreement, or else it will come down crashing on the rock. And don't sit there listening to me. You listening to me, don't sit there and tell me that you don't know that the breakup is coming, or the breakup was coming, or the breakup is going to be the end result. Because at some point in time, most relationships, we all know that the breakup is coming, that this relationship is not good for us. We all know that. And some people make the fatal mistake that just because we are part of the same church, or we go to the same mosque, or we go to the same association, or because he's my kinsman, my tribesman, we have the same race, that is a guarantee that we will avoid breakups. Let me really disappoint you. For those who believe that because we are in the same church or mosque insulate your relationship from breakups. In fact, the church and the mosque these days account for so much breakups in the world. And one particular example which we talked about in the 4 episodes, it's the issue of is the relationship between Jesus and Judas. They belong to the same faith, same church. Every crusade organized by Jesus, Judas was there. But he still ended up betraying his master. So what gives you the confidence that just because we are going to the same church, we cannot break up? We have seen leading pastors in the world breaking up with their wives. Men of God who are supposed to teach all of us about marriage. They talk to people about marriage, how to stay in marriage. But then they could not even save their own marriage from breakups. But they are in the same church. In fact, they are called Papa and mama. If you are under that illusion that just because of the same church, start rethinking. Start rethinking that very seriously. I mean, sometimes, Miriam, the sister of Moses, led a revolt against Moses. Her own sister. Let's also remember the relationship between God and Lucifer, who you now call Satan or the devil. I mean, Satan's name his real name is Lucifer, morning star. I mean, imagine, he was loved among all the angels by God himself. But that did not insulate that relationship from breakups. We all know, because it was not based on a common agreement. And we said, if we do not agree on the direction, we are not going to get to the destination. It's as simple as that. Agreement is key. Lack of agreement is one of the causative factors of breakups. You know, we are almost always under the illusion. We start blaming other people. Oh, you are responsible for leaving me. But it doesn't matter. You should all know that disagreement breeds contempt. There should not be two visions in a relationship. There should be one vision. I mean, once there are two visions, it becomes division. You cannot continue with somebody. I mean, look, ensure that your vision align. Your vision is an agreement. And sometimes, some relations are just visionless. And therefore, of course, it is obvious that it is going to hit the rock bottom. Another reason why people really should, I mean, we all know, and sometimes we know that there is so much division in the relationship, but we just choose to just neglect it. We know. And the second reason why relationships break up is because when your relationship was not based on the character of a person, but it was based on the charm of the person. You were charmed into that relationship. A lot of people are charmed into relationships. And if the charm of your partner, the charm of your friend was the basis for establishing or entering that relationship, then you know that very well that a woman at 40, 55, 60 is going to lose the charm. You know that very well. You know it. You know that. Look, let's stop playing the innocent game that we don't know. We should know that there are certain people who are assigned to us. There are certain people who are attached to us. I mean, those attached to us are in the relationship because of their own personal benefit. And you know that the person you are with is a parasite. You know that they are only in for themselves. You know that in fact, you are the benefactor and they are the beneficiary. They bring nothing of value to that relationship. You know it. You know it, but we keep ignoring it. We keep ignoring it. People who are attached to you are almost always packed the first day they enter your life. They are packed, ready to take the first flight out of your life once you face challenges or financial difficulties. But we choose to ignore it. Sometimes you are in a relationship with someone, immediately there's a problem, they are packed, they are going to their uncle, going to their father, staying with their friends. But those who are assigned to us will ride with us in difficult moments, will ride with us in tough times, will ride with us even when they should leave us. They are with us because of the emotions of our hearts. And they will actually bless the gifts of our hands with financial blessings. But sometimes those who love us are the people we do not love. And those who do not love us are the people we shower love on. You know, these are some of the problems. I mean, forget about, oh, we are not communicating, oh, phones, oh. No, it's so simple. There was no agreement. If his charm and not his character attracted you, excited you to her, stop complaining. You knew it very well. A lot of us know that most of our partners are in this because of what they are getting from us, not because of what they are giving back. They are sacrificing nothing. They bring nothing to the relationship. You know it. They are just scavengers. A lot of people. You discuss one secret with them today, they are going to take your secret and throw it into the garbage can. You hear your secret from the street corners. You know it. That's a red flag. That relationship is a dangerous one. You should not even stay in that relationship in the very first instance. But we keep avoiding it. We know that a lot of people in our lives, you caught them cheating the first day and they said, I'm sorry. And you accepted them. You have just opened the door to a series of sorries. You know it. You know it that they have cheated not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times. But then you are in it with them because they are beautiful. And you are the kind of people who say, oh, no, no. And sometimes even the churches and the pastors do help breakups because they keep people in bondage that they should free them. There is a similar scripture. I mean, a very common scripture that people quote, pastors quote and sometimes they wrongly quote those scriptures. What God has put together, let no man put asunder. Really? We don't even understand what that scripture means. Yes, it means what God has put together, let no man put asunder. The first question is, was the relationship put together by God? Because if it is put together by God, no man, it is beyond human comprehension. Human beings do not really have the knack to undo what God has fixed. No. But a lot of relationships are not put together by God. Look, let me tell you one secret, how God operates. When God, I mean, it has over generation. When God wants to visit his people, he sent his word and he also sent a person. That's it. And the devil has the same scheme, the same mechanism, the same strategy. When the devil wants to visit you, he sent his word and he also sent a person. So the question when you encounter people the very first day, asking for you to enter or to form a relationship with them, the question should be, who sent you? Because if you are not from God, then you are from the devil. Simple. But sometimes the devil brings people together. And now you use the scripture to say what God has put together. Did God put you together in the first place? What are the signs that in fact this is a divine relationship? That is another issue for another day. And in our last episode, we talked about constructive knowledge. Lack of constructive, I mean, some people have no idea of who their partner is. You know, they are attracted to them by money. They don't want to know where the money is coming from. Oh, he's beautiful. To them, he is successful. They don't even know what success means. Maybe the person has a 10th car. Or, in fact, these days, a lot of relationships are now based on, oh no, the guy is a JC from overseas. The guy is from the US. The guy is from... You don't know this guy. You don't know what he does. You don't know whether he's a drug pusher. You don't even know his values. Nothing, absolutely. And you are going to base, just because he has a light skin, clean skin, or he has some few dollars to throw at you. What do you think? You really think such relation you are in for a good ride? No. I mean, these are all signs. Do not come here and tell me or start crying, oh, I don't know. You know, no, you are not surprised. You know exactly that this relationship was going to crash. But you know what we normally do? We just ignore it. Where there is no agreement, where there are two visions, there is bound to be division. Where a relationship is built on charm and not on character, it is obvious that the end result is breakup, separation, disappointment, misery. Where you do not have a stake in a relationship, you are not going to protect it. There are certain relationships, if you are financially handicapped or challenged for 1 minute, the other person will say, oh, they do nothing to come to your aid. You know it. It has not happened once. It has happened twice, many times, 10 times. But you still continue to be, to be stuck in that relationship. You say, oh, well, you know, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. Really? Did God put you together? People have broken with their partners just because they could not get a child in the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of marriage. But remember Jacob? Of course, he never wanted to marry Leah, but Leah's sister. But later on, he discovered that the lady was barren. But then it was because it was from God. And they kept hoping, praying. And God blessed them. Jacob did not send her packing because she could not bear him a child. And later, Joseph and Benjamin came. And Joseph was the guy who was going to save the entire guys from famine. So the people in your life, are they sent by God? If they are sent by God, then the scripture is for you. What God has put together, let no man put asunder. But if they are not sent by God, then start thinking seriously whether you should, even in the first place, you should have been in that particular relationship. These days, a lot of people do so many things to ensure that they win over or they break relationships. Do you call that by a relationship by God? If that's your concept of relationship, of a divine relationship, and I'm sorry for you. But as I said, this is just a preview to our discussion. It's not about really what causes breakups. The discussion, it's about how to respond to breakup, how to manage breakups, how to deal with breakups. That is the topic of discussion today. But you know what? Yeah, that is our subject. How to handle, how to respond, how to manage breakups. I mean, I'm just whetting your appetite, you know. Now, I want us to get into the real issue. How do you respond to breakups? How do you manage breakups? How do you handle breakups? Look, breakups are tough. They are hard. They put all of us in a very tough spot. It's difficult, extremely difficult. And, you know, sometimes it has lasting negative impact and effect on all of us. And we have all been there. I have been there. I am not here to judge people who have actually initiated breakups. No, that's not my goal. I'm here not to validate what they did to us. I'm here to say, hey, I'm a witness to your pain because I have been there myself. And I have learned, I have grown. I did not only go through it, I grew through it. So my job here is to teach you what I did and what I have discovered other people have done to manage and respond and handle breakups. But at this point, I really want to remind you that this podcast is coming by courtesy of Advocate for Victims. And I want you to please help and support this podcast by liking and by sharing. Or you can actually help to donate. You can donate any amount, is not small, any amount so far. Any amount, 1,000, 2,000, or whatever that God puts in your heart, because we want to raise money for victims of autism. And you can do that by following the link below. You can simply, number one, you can start by dialing #144*4#, and it will actually give you or ask you for the merchant code. And the merchant code is 239076. And once you put in the merchant code, it is also going to ask you to enter your reference number. You can either put ABC or anything on your name. Just write anything on once you are asked for the reference number. Then later, it is going to ask you for your PIN. This podcast is a little bit longer today. I am sorry. I'll make sure that, I'll keep it maybe 10-15 minutes max so that we can have time, because I want to make it as interesting as possible. And trust me, it is interesting. If you have been a victim of breakups, if you are still struggling how to handle or respond to breakups, this podcast is for you. If your relationship has entered a phase where it's a bit shaky and you are sensing breakup on the horizon, this podcast is for you. Even where you are safe, yet you are not immune. Just by knowing how to respond to breakups, how to handle it, how to manage it, it's so important. Because you know what? Life happens. Sometimes we are responsible. Sometimes we are not. But it doesn't matter whether we are responsible or not responsible. It happens. But it is not what happens to you that matters. It is how you respond to what has happened to you. So my goal is to teach you, to reveal the tools to you how to be able to respond to breakups. Please, 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 you can donate by actually, following the information right on the screen before you. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. What I want to assure you that whatever donation that you are going to give, it is going to be for victims of autism. Autism is a very serious condition, and we want to ensure that we'll raise awareness about the issue of autism and help children who are victims of autism. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the very first episode tomorrow, how to handle breakups.